Welcome, everyone. We are live. Today is Tuesday. Today is Tuesday. I don't know that it means anything, but today is Tuesday. Ah, listen, it is always a pleasure and a privilege to spend time with you. I shan't keep you long this morning, but this morning we're going to talk about what Neville Goddard calls the bridge of incidence. He says, when you hold fast to the end, the vision, the fulfillment of the desire and all the wish fulfilled, when you hold fast to that, things begin to unfold in such a way, and they take you from where you are to where you're going, from what you presently are to what you are becoming. And it is very interesting when you listen to Neville, because when you really listen, you hear the principles at work. And the bridge of incidence is polarity. I had alluded to this one morning, but the bridge of incidence is the principle of polarity. How so? When you select the thing that you want to become and you see it in your mind's eye of being it, right in the middle, there's a gap. There's nothing there so far. Okay? And neurologically, what happens to us in the brain, you have this thing that you are thinking on one side and the thing that you want to become on the other side. The more you do the thing, you form a bridge. You form a pathway between the thing that you're doing and the thing you become every single time. I don't know how Neville knew. Of course, I know how he knew, but you know what I'm saying? Because back in the day, you didn't have that kind of quote unquote information. But if you look at it, the thing that you're doing, think about this. I'll give you the analogy of tying your shoelaces. In the very beginning, you don't know how to do it. It doesn't make any sense to you. It just looks like knots. But then one day, you can tie your shoes. There's a bridge there. There's a pathway there, if you want to call it that, between what you presently are and what you are becoming. There is a bridge. And between those 2 points requires us to be persistent. This is what builds the bridge. The neurological pathway is built in exactly the same fashion. You do something because you have the original impetus, you have the original thought, the original mood, the original seed. And to get from seed to fruit is presently, there's nothing there. To get from seed to fruit, there's nothing there. Right? And in the beginning, we don't see how the bridge is constructed because we can't see how the bridge is constructed, but we do know that the bridge is constructed. How do you know? Because you end up doing the thing that you did not know how to do. Neurologically, that bridge was formed by your persistence in doing the thing. So when Neville Goddard says to persist in the feeling of the wish fulfilled, that is how you build the bridge, through your persistent behavior. whatever it is, whatever that, if that persistence is your persistent thought, your persistent mood, it is through persistence that we move from what we presently are into becoming that which we want to be. It is as simple as that. But because we do not see what we are doing, because we don't see what we are doing, remember the Bible says you don't grow weary in doing good. This is what it means. It means you persist even though you do not see. You persist. And truth be told, you do see. What do you see? You see what you want to become. It is exactly the same thing when you plant your garden. You see what you want to harvest. You see it every time. Every time you see it, you see what you want to become. And because you see what you want to become, that's all that's required. Because from there, you persist in doing what? Which is step 2, experiencing in imagination what you would be doing in reality if you were the man or the woman you wanted to be. Those are Neville's words. What you persist in being in your mind's eye is what you will become on the outside. But because you can't see it doesn't mean it is not happening. This is why I gave you the example of tying your shoelaces. In the very beginning, it's just a bunch of knots and loose string. It makes no sense. But through your persistence in practice, you now go from knots and string to a bow. And you're pulling a Deborah Cox. How did you get here? How'd you get from knots and string to bows? Persistence. Even though it may seem frustrating at the time to have to have help to undo the knots you put in it, it's all right. Shoelaces are life. It just looks like a bunch of yarn and it makes no sense. What's the purpose of life? We ask these kinds of questions, and life just looks like a bunch of string and knots and yarn, and you're like, where's the end? Where's the beginning? But once you pick up one side of that lace, and you pick up the other side, and you practice tying the laces persistently, because sometimes, like I said, you're going to put knots in there. Sometimes you may throw the shoe. Damn shoelaces. Sometimes you may do that. Sometimes you may kick the shoe. Sometimes you just find a different pair of shoes altogether. Something with no laces. You know what? I'm going to just choose Velcro. But at the end of the day, there will be something within you that says, I gotta tie these blasted laces. What do I do again? Naturally, that desire emerges. It just does, naturally. Right? It just emerges. It feels like it came out of nowhere. But it didn't come from nowhere. It came from you. So, whatever this thing is in life that you are presently facing, that you're presently dealing with, I don't know what it is. Frankly, I don't care what it is. Oh, do you know why I don't care what it is? Because whatever it is cannot break you. It has no power over you. Oh, sure, in the beginning, it just looks like a ball of yarn and you don't know which end is what. That is only in the beginning. But the more you practice, which means the longer you stay alive, things begin to make sense. And when they begin to make sense, well, now you end up tying that bow. So, in order that we don't lose hope, in order that we don't give up, so in order to stay persistent, you must comprehend, you must understand what you are doing. Because when you can see what you're doing and you know what you're doing, well, now you'll stay true to the course, will you not? You won't give up. You won't give up at all. Here's how. In the recesses of your brain that none of us can quite see at the moment, we can't see what's happening in the closed skull. Shoot, our brains don't see. Our brains are in perpetual darkness. But once you shed light upon it, meaning you open your eyes, light penetrates, stimulates, indeed, titillates, call it what you want. But something happens and we are aroused to do what? To learn. When the light is shone. So what's happening in there? Where is this bridge coming from? There is an invisible pathway at first because you cannot see how you're going to get from a ball of yarn to laces. Shoot, a ball of yarn to a sweater. I marvel at this woman on Instagram. She starts the video by showing you 3 balls of yarn and her needles, her knitting needles. And at the beginning, it is just a ball of yarn 3 times. And I'm like, she crazy. She said, I felt like making a sweater today. So I'm going to make a sweater with a collar. And I was like, okay, sure. I have no idea how she's going to get from 3 balls of yarn to a sweater with a collar. I cannot see it. I can't see it. I trust her though, because she can see it. And so because she can see it, she sits down and she's just knitting. She does the first panel to get it to the right length and she puts it against her body and she goes, see, here's my sweater. And I'm like, she crazy. But she persists because within the brain, she starts off from one side, which is an idea. That's what she starts with, an idea. And the idea is launched from the mood. I'm in the mood for making something. And so that's what she does. Okay? I'm in the mood for making something. So she's making this sweater. And I'm looking at her and I'm like, okay, how are we going to do this? She does a second panel, third panel, fourth. And then all of a sudden you begin to see the sweater take shape. Now, at some point, your hands get tired. No, it's crochet that she does, not knitting, crochet. And at some point, your hands get tired. You might have things to do, so you put it down, right? But the desire to complete the sweater drives her to finish. She'll stay up all hours of the night. She'll crochet in the car. She will crochet wherever she is because something within draws her to do it. See, that's what happens when we persist in a particular behavior, in a particular mental mood, a particular mental attitude. Something draws us to persist in that, to bring that thing to its completion. But what is it that draws you? The idea draws you to finish. The very idea that you are contemplating, as Neville says, everything has its own way of expression. So, neurologically within your brain, you have this idea. It's just a seed, it's just a thought. And at the very end, where Neville says, see the end, stand faithful to the wish fulfilled, meaning you're going to see the sweater with the collar that you're going to crochet. So between the idea and wearing the sweater is a pathway. And that pathway is set down with every action you persist in. Which action is that? By experiencing in imagination what you would be doing in reality if you were the man or the woman you wanted to be. That is the persistent thing that you do, and in your brain, literally speaking, those synapses begin to fire. Now, if you know brain anatomy and I'm saying things wrong, don't come for me. Just simply use the right terminology and let me know in my DM so I can correct myself. And then at least you still get the point. So what do you do then? If you say, but Angela, how do I make a sweater into my life? The sweater is the desired outcome. What do you want to become? That's the sweater. That's the sweater. You are the needle. You are bending and shaping the yarn, which is your life, into a shape. That's all you're doing. And in some points, you may make a mistake. So the stitch won't be right the way you want it to be. So you pull it out and you do it again. Which means one does not give up. You simply undo the stitches. Well, how do you undo the stitches? Neville Goddard calls it revision. You see it the way it should be instead of the way it presently is. So when you begin to comprehend that you are knitting or crocheting your life, you stop being judgmental, don't you? Oh my God, crochet sucks. This thing is whooping my ass. I can't crochet. I can't do this. Blah, blah, blah. You see? No, that's not what we do. You go back. What is the desired outcome? See? The sweater with the collar. That is the desired outcome. So what is it? Is it confidence? Is it owning your own business? Is it being in a relationship? What is the desired outcome? You must, oh boy, here's an absolute. You must keep the vision in your mind's eye. Why? Because the vision is your pattern that you are following. And that pattern is showing you what you say you want to become. You could always say it is cause and effect as well. Every cause has its effect, and every effect its cause, which means if I see myself as being an entrepreneur, the mood of entrepreneur, which is boldness, confidence, surety of self, creativity. See those things? Those are all things, a go-getter. Those are all things that denote or imply you are an entrepreneur. You think outside the box. You like to make the rules. You like to lead the way. You like to inspire. That's an entrepreneur. Those are the behaviors of an entrepreneur. So you start seeing yourself doing those things. Experience in imagination what you would be doing if you were the entrepreneur. If you were the master chef. Wait, if you were the master baker. If you were the master gardener. You begin to see yourself as what you want to become, not how you're going to get there, not how, because you can't see how, because how has not been done. How unfolds through your persistence in seeing what you would be doing. And you're not just seeing it. Remember, when you see it, it invokes a feeling. Just like when you see the face. I have my chickens on my screensaver. And when I see them, it invokes a feeling. When you think of that special someone, when you think about what you're going to cook, when you think about if you're going to drive, I'm not going to call your name, but you know what happens when you think about driving. Somebody's going to get the horn leaned on, you know. Somebody might get the bird. We don't know. But you know what it feels like when you start thinking about, oh, I got to drive in this today. Right? See how it makes you feel? Ah. So the feeling is what sweetens the pot. Why do you want to sweeten the pot? Why do you want to entice the person? So they keep doing it. So that they will persist. Because remember, the space between the idea and the fulfillment of the idea is not there by way of the naked eye. So I have to make it feel good for you so that you will continually persist in the mental mood and mental attitude that implies that you are the man or the woman that you want to be. And when you feel the feeling of being that thing, you say, oh, this fire done shut up in my bones. I am excited. And even though you can't see it just yet, it is the feeling that it gives you that says to you, stay with me now. Stay with me. You can see it, can't you? You can see what you want to become. Look at how it makes me feel. Oh, doesn't that feel incredible? Oh, you know you want it, right? And you say, yes, yes, I do. Give me some more. That's what you want. You can see the outcome in your mind's eye, and you are enticed by the outcome. And because you are enticed by the outcome, what do you do? You persist in the feeling of the wish fulfilled. And as you persist in the feeling of the wish fulfilled, which means in your mind's eye, you can see yourself, but you're not just seeing yourself as if you're watching a movie. Oh, heavens, no. You're watching and seeing yourself as if in a mirror like a dancer. Which brings to mind, when I move, you move, just like that, right? So when you see yourself in the mirror, you are the one doing the action. And when you do the action, you know when you hit that dance move just right, you go, ow. It feels so incredible, yes? And so you watch yourself as you dance. You go through the mental motion of doing what you would be doing in reality if you were the man or the woman you want to be. And because you persist in that quote unquote imaginal act, it only appears to be imaginal at the beginning. This is why imagining creates reality. Because the thing that you practice doing is the thing that you become. At first, it is invisible. Nobody can see that desire of yours. Perhaps if they look into your eyes long enough, they will see your desire. Who knows? We don't even like looking people in the eye. For fear of what? Betraying our true selves. You don't have to fear betraying who you are. No, not ever. So what do? We begin to experience in imagination what we would be doing if we were the man or the woman we wanted to be. And then you see it and it feels good to you. And you see it again and it feels good again. You do it and it feels good. You do it and it feels better. You do it and it feels even better. You do it and it feels so good. All the while, what are you doing? The desire is building the bridge between the idea of what you want to become and the actions and images of it, of you becoming it. So this is the bridge of incidence. And this is why we persist. And it is in the persistence that you build. Because over and over again, the more time you spend in the presence of something, of that imaginal act, of doing it, well, William Blake says man becomes what he contemplates. So the idea in the beginning that you are contemplating, if you stick with the experience in imagination what you would be doing in reality, if you stick with that, then it is inevitable that you become. It is inevitable that you become. Because you have the image of what you want to become. And you persist in doing and feeling, because we feel and we do what we feel. This is why they seem to be two things, but they're just one. The cause and the effect. The feeling, and the action. Seem like two things, but they are simply one thing. Because without the feeling, there is no action. Oh my. Without the feeling, there is no action. So if you have the feeling or the sensation, oh, you know you will act. See? You see why you can say, I know, and I will stand 10 toes down on what I know? You're not saying you know being idle words. You're saying you know because you comprehend that when I get the feeling, I will do according to the feeling. I will act according to the feeling. This is why when Neville says feeling is the secret, he didn't finish the sentence. Feeling is the secret to creation. I know you might want to doubt me, but if you look at your life, you will see that you have always done what you felt. There's a difference between, I didn't feel like doing that, but I did it anyway. No, there was a feeling in your bosom, whether you were upset with the person who quote unquote forced you to do it. You were not driven by the pleasure of doing it. You were driven by the anger and the frustration to just get it done. See, you were driven by feeling. We are always driven by feeling. Because you know when you feel, you will do. Pay attention to your life and you'll see what I'm talking about. You'll experience it. And when you experience it from a place of knowing, now the lights have been turned on and you say, oh my God. Yes, I've been doing this whole time. I didn't even know. We move by way of feeling all day, every day. It is that feeling that keeps us persistent so that the invisible bridge is built, like the delicate web of a spider. I remember this one video. A spider was weaving its web, and another spider came along, and she said, oh, hell no, and she cut the web that she was making so the other spider couldn't get to her. I will always remember that. Because it made me feel a particular way. It made me laugh. It left an impression upon me. See? Feeling. Not feeling as in emotion, but feeling as in a fire in your bosom. There's a difference. Pay attention, and you will see it in your life. And then you will know how to invoke. Oh, here's a word that a lot of people don't like: conjure. They think that we don't conjure. They think conjuring is for witches and warlocks and wizards. Oh, please. To conjure just means to invoke something. To summon, to bring about. You summon a feeling every day. You summon the feeling to get up out of your bed and go to work. Indeed we do, don't we, darling? So today, my beautiful friends, you see that bridge? Your faithfulness. We think faithfulness is something out of this world. No, it means I see the sweater I want to make. I'm going to keep my eyes on that because I'll see every stitch, every purl, every knit, everything. I will see everything. If I stay looking at that, I am going to become it. And when I say stay looking at it, what do I mean? I mean, give that thing your full attention. How do you give it your attention? By experiencing in imagination what you would be doing in reality. So in reality, you would have this swell of pride in your chest. Oh my God, where did you get that sweater? At the till last week, this little old lady touched this man's sweater and goes, oh my God, I love your sweater. Where did you get it? He goes, oh, I got it at Winners. For my American friends, it's Marshall's for you. In your mind's eye, you would be watching yourself and you'd be feeling the thread of your sweater. You'd be feeling the swell of pride in your chest of the compliments. Oh my God, you made that? Oh, now if you don't know Bree, Bree's my girl on TikTok. Oh, she's a coy one, I tell you. She made this dress the other day with this neckline. Whew. This neckline, let me tell you, if you ever saw a curtsy, oh yes, The girls curtsied to that neckline. Oh, they did. Beautiful dress. Don't get it twisted. It was a beautiful dress, but I was like, "Damn, girl, hello." I was like, "Oh my goodness. I would make that dress too if I could pull it off like that. Holy cow." But somebody in the comments said, "I love this dress. Do you take commissions?" Somebody asked her, "Can you make me a dress just like that?" So, in your mind's eye, when you are making the dress, it is the comments of people who say, "My God, that dress is fantastic. Can you make me one?" Oh, what do you feel in your bosom when you hear that question? You feel pride, don't you? You feel excited. You feel like, "Oh my God, they want me to make them something little on me." Oh, yes, girl. And what can you hear? Cha-ching. And it drives you. It inspires you to do what? Keep faithful to the image. That is how you build the bridge naturally. So now my girl is taking commissions. Hello? She is taking commissions. Okay. You know how incredible that feels? So, for instance, if you say, "Well, I want to teach a class," what would drive you? Hearing the applause. Yeah, great. But how does hearing the applause make you feel? That is what will sustain you as you stay faithful to that crowded room that is presently invisible. You hear the roar of the crowd, but you might hear the roar of the crowd, but you feel the pride. You feel the joy of having fulfilled it. You might feel the handshakes. You might hear, "Oh my God, can you sign my book? I read this book 4 times and it really changed my life. Can you sign it?" You see? You have now moved yourself from idea and you are stepping through your persistence to the wish fulfilled of what you want to become. And that bridge begins to unfold in your life. Now you know that because the bridge is invisible does not mean it doesn't exist. So now you know that, listen, in my brain, I am laying down a pathway between the idea and the fulfillment of the idea. That's what I'm doing every time I feel the warmth spread through my body of the applause of people commissioning me to create for them. Oh, I feel it. And you might hear in the back of your head, "Ain't no money in that. Who you think you are? You think you're better than anybody else? You're this, you're that." Oh, you might hear those things. But once the fox can't get the grapes, he always says they're sour, doesn't he? But you stay faithful. Do not let anybody eating sour grapes deter you because they cannot see what you see. So you stay faithful and you don't allow yourself to be deterred. Why not? Because you can see the outcome. You can see the outcome. When Bree made that dress, oh, you know she saw that outcome. How could she not? I'm telling you, she saw that outcome. She sure did. So, what is the desired outcome for you? Is it health? Well, then begin to feel the vibrancy of health. Even though at present, your knees and your hips and your back and your shoulders are saying, bitch, please. That's not vibrancy. It doesn't see it in the beginning. But once you open your eyes, the brain can now see. So, what does the opening of the eyes symbolize? That you can see what is invisible. You can see the truth of it. And so that is what causes you to stay faithful to your desire, in spite of it not being outside just yet. Listen, I trust that you comprehend what I said to you today, and that you will test it for yourselves. Well, how are you going to test it? Well, every single day we get up, we have a desire. Do we not? Well, practice staying faithful to it. How do you stay faithful to your desire? By experiencing in imagination what you would be doing if you were the man or the woman you wanted to be. That is how you stay faithful. You do it, and you are driven to do it because it makes you feel incredible. You say, my God, this is who I am becoming. Oh, sprinkle, sprinkle, some more of that on my day. And even if you get up tomorrow and you say, whew, I'm tired. I don't have the strength to see it today. Do you know what will give you the strength? Exactly. The feeling of the wish fulfilled will give you the strength to carry on. Anywho, let us take a moment, shall we, to welcome everyone into the space this morning. Hello, Christine. Hello, Melly Mel. I see you, darling. Hey, girl. I see you. Twitter is as Twitter is, you know. Fan base, who's kicking it with us this morning? Michael is here. Surreal is here. Miss McQueen is here. I know that Honey was here, and Thick they were here. I don't know if the app is still apping, but hey, I see y'all. Let us go forth this beautiful day. And no, Oracle Treehouse was here too. And no. So that when scripture says to you, I know my Redeemer liveth, you think he's saying I know because I'm hoping? Oh, he says, I know. I know. Well, what do you know? You know that. What do you know? Persistence. Where's cyber? Because cyber would remind me how Neville says it. Hmm? If persisted in what? What? It will harden into fact. Mm-hmm. Though false, if persisted in, will harden into fact. And how does it harden into fact? Neurologically, by setting down the pathway between the idea and the becoming of that idea. That's how it hardens into fact. The bridge. But you are required. So today you have just comprehended that you don't need hope. You need to know what is happening. so that when you know what is happening, now you comprehend and you understand why you stay faithful. Anywho, anywho, that being said, let me get the chime for us. You might get chicken. I don't know. I kissed them goodnight last night when I put everybody to bed. Well, I didn't put them to bed. Lady put her and Popcorn to bed. I just made sure they ate something before they went to bed. And then Itty Bitty, I put him to bed because, well, I gotta put him to bed. And I kissed each and every one of them. Oh, I sure did. So I don't know. He might still be asleep right now because he had a late night. But when you hear the chime this morning, let there be a renewed sense of vigor in your bosom to know that you are experiencing in imagination what you would be doing. You're what? You are experiencing. To experience is to do. So you are doing in imagination what you would be doing in reality if you were the man or the woman you wanted to be. So you do it and you do it and you do it well. LL Cool J, how? You do it and you do it well every day because you are driven by something that the outside world does not see. You see it. So it is up to you to stay faithful to what you see. And staying faithful is made easy for you. Oh, I told you already. Staying faithful is made easy for you. Why and how? Because it feels good. And you and I are driven to do what feels good. You know exactly what I'm talking about. You and I are driven to do what feels good. That is our nature. But it is up to you to use the nature to become. And now that you know what you're doing, you don't have to have wishful thinking. You don't have to hope. You don't have to do a ritual, honey. No, no, you don't. You know. Mm. And the feeling confirms what you know. And then you begin to glow from the inside out. Why? Because that wish fulfilled is giving you life. Hello? Symbiotic relationship. Shoot, let me go get this chime. Because if I stay here, ain't nobody gonna get any work done. Countdown initiated. 4, 3, 2. There he is. 1. Thank you all for being here on this lovely, lovely Tuesday. And for all of the members of this channel, whether it would be YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, Twitter, if you follow on Patreon, or if you follow on YouTube, if you're a member there, your member perks for the month have been posted. So feel free to check them out and share any comments or questions you may have. Okay? And I shall see you on the morrow. Yeah, handsome, I know. You got up just in time this morning for chime and chicken. I know, baby. Mummy's sweet boy. All right, y'all. Go forth into the world and know that you are building that bridge of incidence every time you persist in the feeling of the wish fulfilled. Much love to you all. Much love.